I'll call this meeting to order. Good evening and welcome to the December 18th, 2014 City of Hollister Planning Commission meeting. May I have verification of agenda posting, Bill?
Yes, Chairman Boy, the agenda for the December 18th Planning Commission was posted on Friday, December 12th at 4:50 p.m.
Thank you. Commissioner Alvarez, will you lead us into the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chris. A roll call, please.
Commissioner Alvarez?
Here.
Commissioner Lenore?
Present.
Commissioner Torres?
Here.
Commissioner Harvey?
Here.
Chairman Boy?
Here. I ask for approval of minutes dated November 20th, 2014.
Motion to approve the minutes of November 20th, 2014.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those minutes are approved. Communications from public on items not listed on the agenda. Do we have any speaker cards, Bill, for anything not on the agenda?
I do not.
Okay. Go into public hearings. I will read item 1 and then recuse myself for reasons of economic conflict of interest. Boy Architecture provided architectural services for Site and Architectural Review 2014-15. After I read item number 1, I will ask Vice Chair Carol Lenore to proceed in my absence. Site and Architectural Review 2014-15. Harvey and Rose Bryan requesting approval of a site and architectural review of a 4,000 square foot, 40 by 100 foot warehouse building and a 560 square foot, 14 by 40 steel framed shelter with woven polyethylene cover on a 1.469 acre vacant property on Mana Way, being more specifically described as APN 051-162-004. CEQA is categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to Section 15332, Infill Development Projects, Class 32.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Lenore.
Okay, if you could please present the staff report.
Thank you. The applicant is requesting site and architectural approval for the construction of a 4,000 square foot warehouse building and a 560 square foot steel frame shelter on a 1.47 acre site. The property is located within the M1 Light Industrial Zoning District. The site is currently vacant. The applicant is proposing to use the structure for personal storage. The floor plan is proposed to have complete open storage area and one ADA restroom. The exterior of the building on all elevation sides would be metal wall panels painted saddle tan. The proposed eave trim would be painted burnished slate. The maximum height of the building would be 19 feet 5 inches. The south elevation would have one pedestrian access door and one metal roll-up vehicle access door. The south and west elevations would both have a series of freestanding trellises with creeping vines. The 560 square foot steel frame structure with woven polyethylene cover is proposed to be located near the northeastern property line. The site would include 4 vehicle spaces with 1 ADA space on aggregate-based surface. The proposed vehicle access driveway would be from an existing curb cut access at the southern corner of the property on Lana Way. The plans indicate landscaping along Lana Way. The landscape includes crepe myrtle, California sycamore, dwarf blue lily of the Nile, and escallonia.
Pursuant to Section 1710-04, 040 Industrial Zoning District, the new construction should include windows, articulated entries, trellises, or other features where building walls are visible from streets. Unpainted gray galvanized metal surfaces shall not be used on primary structures that are visible from a street. Industrial facilities with a utilitarian building design shall be screened with landscaping. The building would be located at the northeast area of the site, away from Lana Way. The facade of the building on all elevation sites would be metal wall panels painted saddle tan. The proposed eave trim would be painted a burnished slate. The south and west elevations would both have a series of freestanding trellises with creeping vines. The proposed building design, drainage, and site layout has been designed to comply with the industrial zoning district performance standards in section 1710.040 of the Hollister Municipal Code. Due to its proximity to the airport, the Hollister Municipal Airport Comprehensive Land Use Plan, Figure 6, includes the project site in an Airport Safety Zone 3. The application will be reviewed for land consistency with the Comprehensive Land Use Plan for the Hollister Municipal Code, Hollister Municipal Airport, per conditions of approval number 47 in the draft resolution. With that, staff recommends that the Planning Commission review the applicant's request, receive all written and oral testimony regarding the proposal, and consider approving said architectural application number 2014-15, subject to the findings and conditions contained in the draft resolution. Are there any questions for staff?
Any questions? Okay, no questions this time. We'll open the public hearing at 3:09. Is there any comment cards, speakers?
Yes, Vice Chair Ravina Haboy.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Ravina Huboy with Huboy Architecture. I would respectfully like to have a few of the conditions striked from the list here under Fire Department, condition 37, 38, and 40.
37, 38, and 40 under fire.
Fire Department heading.
Let me see that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, 37 and 38 have to do with the fire hydrant. And as we see there's two fire hydrants on Lana Way, one at the northwest corner of the property and one at the southern property corner. And according to the civil engineer, both of them are existing and fully functional. They provide the required system flow and quantity of fire protection for the proposed use. So there will be no need for an additional fire hydrant as far as we can see.
Okay.
And number 40, which is talking about fire sprinklers. According to the building code, there is no condition, no requirement for fire sprinklers, and I don't believe there's any fire sprinkler ordinance either, so I don't think that it would be necessary to submit a fire sprinkler plan.
That's number 38.
Number 40, I'm sorry,
40, I'm
number
sorry.
40, yeah.
Did you already talk about 38?
Oh, both of those are talking about if you put a fire hydrant in, both 37 and 38. 37 is talking about the model number, and
Okay.
38 is talking about the connection.
Okay, 40. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I did have one more question. You said that the fire sprinklers, they're not required by building code? For number 40? Okay. Any other speakers?
No.
Okay, having no other speakers, we're going to close the public hearing at 3:11 and bring it back to the commission. If we have any comments or discussing the deleted conditions, anybody?
Well, I want to know why they wanted a fire hydrant there. Was that the fire, or was it fire recommended it?
Commissioner Alvarez, that's a condition that usually comes from the fire department. In this case, it was recommended by the fire department. Ravina is correct. There are fire hydrants already in place. This condition is there to make sure that if it needs to be modified, if it needs to be placed with the long reach as stated on the condition, then the modification need to be made. But in this case, I believe it's already set as per fire department code. Fire department, though, indicated that the condition should stay because of that reason, but really, yeah, it's up to the commission if they want to remove it or not. But the fire hydrants, it's our understanding that they comply to what's existing, to what the code states.
This is one of those things where maybe it should have been decided before it came here. Kind of puts us on the spot a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's not needed, but the fire department recommended it. We're not fire experts.
Are these units, the ones that they're recommending, are the, have the breakaway systems on them or something, as the ones that are there now do not, or something? What is the, do we know what the difference of what is there now and how they compare to the Cloud 865s? I mean,
The Cloud 865 is what's required, and our understanding is that they should have them already. That subdivision is not that old to where it shouldn't have them. Fire department though indicated that normally that's a standard condition, but they should already be at that point where it's what the fire department determines. But they've indicated keep it. They didn't get back to us to confirm if that's what they had already, but that's a standard condition that we usually have to make sure that it's just the fire hydrants that are in use and proximity to that site.
Why would they be asked to use sprinklers if they have a sprinkler plan if the building code doesn't require it?
The sprinkler code, the reason why it's there as well is because it's in an industrial zoning district, and right now, because of what's being proposed, it's not required based on the building code, but if it were to change to a more heavy industrial use, then that's when it would be required.
Okay.
But at the same time, if you would prefer as a commission to remove that, and then at the time the building permits come in, if the building official determines that it is needed, then we can certainly state it at that point as well. So we're good either way.
So if they have a change of use for the building, then it would be subjected to fire sprinklers depending on the proposed use?
That is correct.
So
So we don't have verification that the fire hydrants are of the Cloud 865? They didn't answer that?
Yeah, at this point, they didn't confirm that, but it is our understanding
But
that
that's the requirement.
that is a requirement, that
Well,
it's
so
Cloud
then how do we
865.
proceed with that? If it's required and they didn't confirm it,
What, I mean, the question I understand as, it's here, if when they go back and the fire marshal or fire chief goes out and checks it and finds that they're in compliance, then that condition is met.
okay.
So you don't have to,
And if it's not met?
then they are required to upgrade the fire hydrant to the standard that's here.
Okay,
That's if you leave it in.
okay.
So if what Ms. Huboy says is correct, then he just checks it off his box as having been met.
Personally, I'm more comfortable with leaving it.
and the same would be with the fire sprinklers as well. So if that were to stay in, and then the building official would decide that at that time it's not necessary based on the existing use.
No, that's not.
No, that one wouldn't be
But,
good.
and here's the situation that what our normal practice has been with fire sprinkler systems in industrial areas, and what's interesting, that's what I've been trying to check real quick, is the size of the building. What our normal practice has been is any industrial building over 5,000 square feet gets sprinklered regardless. This building is 4,000 square feet, so you probably have a little bit of leeway there from a discretionary perspective. I think that, as Abraham mentioned, and I believe Carol, our chairman, or Vice Chair Lenore mentioned, is that if there's a change of use and a heavier use goes in there, they may be not allowed to have that use there. If it's a welding facility or any gas breaking, or those types of uses are probably not going to be permitted. And if the applicant is absolutely okay with that, knowing that his building has been limited by that, if both parties agree, I think we're fine with that.
So I think we should remove that one. That one should, at least should be removed.
Yeah, removing the fire sprinkler condition on this particular building is probably not the end of the world,
Right.
because it's not something that we would do on a normal practice anyway.
And now, is that a substantial cost to the applicant?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's not required at this point with this use.
If it's just a storage use, it absolutely, again, and it also depends on what's being stored, but it sounds like it's not it's obviously not a hazardous material that's being stored there, so again, it's probably just a storage facility that wouldn't require.
And if we remove the other,
37 and
sprinklers?
38.
I mean,
Well, the
What's
other
the
two
harm
aren't
in
sprinklers, the other two are the
Right.
fire hydrants.
so what's the harm in removing that from the?
Well, it could go either way.
Okay, well, I think one of the things is this, is that when you have a condition that's requiring a specific type of hydrant, if the city's going through the process of changing out their hydrants, this is a method that the city can use to get those hydrants changed out to meet the current standard. If you approve projects that don't change these things out, if they're not current or complied, that means that somebody else is going to have to do it, or the city ends up having to do it. So this is, how we get infrastructure, that's how we get street frontages,
But
that's
on
how we
the
get a lot of
other,
things.
on the other hand, this is not a industrial use. This is a storage use. So what if what my position is, we might be able to let them build this building with the storage use, but certainly at the time, if they ever come to change that use, then that would be the time to update the fire hydrant. I think that, for me, is more doable than having them, change them for just a storage use when there's already two on site. I don't know. That's my thoughts.
I agree.
Because the use is not of an industrial nature
Right.
currently, the proposed use.
See, that's a problem I have with it currently.
But-
Then when they sell it, and somebody else puts something in there, and there's no sprinklers, something happens.
Well, no, we're
I-
not, we're
I
talking
know,
about fire
I'm talking
hydrant.
about both of them. I would rather have both of them
But he's only building a storage unit right now.
right now.
But in the future, if they come to develop, then they're gonna be told they have to comply with those conditions. And then Bill said it was 5,000 square feet that kicks in the sprinklers. So they're even under the size. It's not required. That's what I'm seeing, so it's everybody.
I'd like to,
Do you wanna,
Yeah.
can she speak again?
She can.
Do I have to reopen the public hearing?
Brad?
Chair,
Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna reopen the public hearing at 3:20.
Yeah, she closed it.
You are correct, it is just a storage, it's basically a place to store his RV and to have a workshop. It's my understanding if any were to want to buy the property and change it to an industrial use, they would have to go through a change of use permit, which we do all the time, and at that time, they're gonna have to comply with whatever you want an industrial use to comply with.
Okay, thank you. Any other,
Well, and let me comment on Ravina's
we're
comment.
gonna close the public
Oh,
hearing
sorry.
again at 3:20? Okay,
There's no real change of use permit required if something complies in the industrial
Right.
zoning ordinance. So, you're not always gonna it's a storage area, but there's a lot of permitted uses in the industrial zone that can automatically just roll in there. Again, the city uses conditions of approval as a method to increase or improve the services that are provided up and down that street. It's not just that property, but this is a method that we do. We're not guaranteed that anything else is ever gonna be constructed on this particular lot. So, again, if the condition stays specifically with the hydrant, and as the conditions of approval are met through the development of the building, and the fire department is satisfied with the hydrants that are out there, there's no harm, there's no foul. The condition has
Okay.
been met, okay? The sprinklers is a little bit more discretionary because the city of Hollister doesn't have a sprinkler ordinance for industrial uses. We are working towards that, I can promise you that, because we believe that sprinklers are important. It just has been past practice that 5,000 square feet has been our normal cutoff on buildings above that. So commercial industrial buildings greater than 5,000 feet have always just been sprinklered.
okay.
my take on it, I still think that I would like to see them both removed, all of them removed, as she suggested. So that's my take on it.
Any more discussion, questions?
Only a comment on 37, I guess, is the one thing that's kind of this, we're assuming, or not, just based on the response from the fire department, it's as if they're telling us right now that the fire hydrant that's there on site does not meet current requirements. I wish they would have.
They didn't clarify that,
I mean, by them putting this in there, they're making that,
stating that they want that.
because they somehow, those units don't comply, and I wish they would have replied back, that would have helped tremendously. This is assuming somebody actually physically went out there and looked at the fire hydrants and said, hey, these things don't meet the current requirement. And now, without their response, we're left to,
Except that Bill's saying that if they go out there and they do see that it's not complying, then they'll have to change it?
that's
Bill?
why they would have put it in here.
All right, so,
What kind of cost is that to the applicant?
A hydrant? Actually, I might be able to ask another engineer that's in the room, but my understanding is about yeah, I was gonna say about 35, but that's probably what our cost is for the installation, but it's about $3,500, and the fire sprinklers is way more than
A
that.
lot more, yeah.
And the sprinkler system depends on the number of heads and whatever else, so.
what recourse do we have when they go out there? If we strike these conditions, and then it does need to be, then it's not gonna get updated.
Does not get updated until another property or that property develops again.
Comes in for a discretionary permit.
40, yeah, but not those. My opinion is that we leave 37 and 38 and strike 40, that's my opinion.
I've already stated mine.
Okay, and then Chair will entertain a motion if there's no more discussion.
Well,
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
just, if the fire recommended those 2 or 3, there's a fire out there. I'm thinking, if there's sprinklers in the building, it's gonna help them knock that fire down. That's my,
But legally, you can't make them do it because it's not a requirement of the building code and the city, yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
saying, that is my,
Okay, he won't,
that's
he
my
likes
take,
it. All right, all right. That's fine.
If I
I
was a fire
understand.
person, that's what I'm.
I understand.
And if the fire department says that they should have that, I'm not a fire expert like you said.
Okay,
You talk about me.
neither am
I'll-
I.
We'll talk all day, but, I'm just going with the, with the fire, I don't wanna go against them.
Okay.
That's, my take. So,
Any other discussion? So I will entertain a motion.
My motion is that I would like to make a motion that we approve the resolution and take out the conditions, take out those conditions as she suggested.
So we have a motion on the floor to delete all 3 conditions. Any second? No second.
Then I will go ahead and make a motion to approve site and architectural review 2014-15. Striking item 37, 38, with leaving 40. I'm sorry, leaving 37 and 38, but striking 40.
I'll second that. Okay.
I have to do-
Oh, okay, excuse me, I'm sorry. So we have I'm new. We have a motion and a second to leave 37 and 38, to approve the proposal with leaving 37 and 38 and deleting 40, condition 40. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nay?
nay.
Okay. Motion carries 3-1. And, I'm sorry, we also need a resolution number.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we need to,
That was
Thank you,
resolution number 2014-38.
38. So if you could restate, I think, don't you need to say that?
So the motion should include the resolution 2014-38.
Got it.
Okay, thank you.
you.
Okay.
Okay, we go to public hearing, item number 2, Site and Architectural Review 2014-14, Conditional Use Permit 2014-5, for waiver of minimum density, and Conditional Use Permit 2014-6, for a planned unit development for condominiums. Anthony Nicola requesting approval of a site and architectural review for a 3-story residential condominium project at Pine Drive near the cannery on an approximate 7,854 square foot lot that is currently vacant. The property is in the neighborhood mixed use zoning district, APN 054-042-002. CEQA is categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to section 15332 infill development projects, class 32. Staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The applicant is requesting conditional use permit, as you mentioned, number 2014-5, for a waiver of the minimum density. Conditional use permit 2014-6, for a planned unit development for condominiums. And Saturn Architectural application number 2014-14, approval for the construction of 3 condominium residential units on a 0.18 acre site in a neighborhood mixed-use zoning district. The site plan illustrates that the project will include landscaping, private open space, common open space, and a driveway access from Pine Drive that's connected to the main road, Hawkins. At the April 24th, 2014 Planning Commission meeting just a few months ago, the project was awarded 3 residential allocations by the Planning Commission per resolution number 2014-11. The residential condominium building would consist of 3 3-bedroom, 1-bath attached units. Each condominium unit would have its own laundry facilities. The building would be 3 stories tall with a 40-foot, 2 5/8 inch maximum ridge height. Per section 1708050 mixed use zoning district supplemental standards, the maximum height allowed within the neighborhood mixed use zoning district is 50 feet. The elevations illustrate composition roof and horizontal wood siding to be painted top with white trim. The units would have a 62-foot front yard setback to the west, that's to Pine Drive, and a 10-foot rear yard setback to the east. The structure would have a 14-foot side yard setback from the northern property line and a 14-foot side yard setback from the southern property line, consistent with Table 17.04-4 residential standards for yards and the residential general development standards of the Hollister Municipal Code. The site plan illustrates a driveway access on Pine Drive to the west. The project is proposing 7 parking spaces. The project meets vehicle parking and bicycle requirements for the condominiums and guest parking per section 17-18060 of the Hollister Municipal Code.
The applicant is proposing a common open space area to be located along Pine Drive that would consist of a barbecue area with 2 picnic tables. Each condominium unit would be provided with private open space. The ground floor unit would have approximately 726 square feet of private open space as a fenced yard towards the eastern property line. The second and third story units would have 2 areas of private open space in the form of balconies. The balconies facing Pine Drive would each consist of 66 square feet. The balconies to face the rear portion of the site facing east would each consist of 60 square feet. Per section 17.4040 multifamily residential development standards, each unit shall have at least 64 square feet of private open space when is provided by a deck or balcony, or 100 square feet when is provided by a yard at ground level. For common open space, at least 1/2 of the required open space shall have a minimum of centralized contiguous area of 400 square feet at the ground level that is improved for passive or active open space with a plan for encouraging community interaction that is not screened from public view. The project complies with open space requirements. At the September 26, 2013 Planning Commission meeting, a use determination was approved for the project per PC Resolution 2013-23. The resolution states that the request for a conditional use permit can be initiated for future Planning Commission meeting for a waiver of the minimum density for this parcel. The Planning Commission may approve a conditional use permit to waive the minimum density requirement for a multifamily residential housing project in the mixed-use zoning district if the applicant has demonstrated that there is not a possibility for lot consolidation, compliance with the minimum development densities and other standards in this section is not feasible due to small lot size, configuration of the parcel, or other environmental constraints such as fault hazard.
The project site is located within the Alquist Priolo Special Study Seismic Zone. The surrounding land uses include the San Benito Foods Cannery Storage. That's located to the west, north, and east, and residential to the south. The vacant parcel is approximately 7,854 square feet and is located within the neighborhood mixed-use zoning district, which requires a residential density of 25 to 35 units per net acre. So this would calculate out to about 4 units for that size of a lot, that vacant lot that we're dealing with. Due to the lot constraints though, and other requirements, such as the requirement for off-street parking, the requirement for private open space, the requirement for common open space, the applicant is requesting approval from the Planning Commission to approve a conditional use permit for a waiver of the minimum density requirement from 4 units to 3 units per the Hollister Municipal Code 17.08.050. Pursuant to this section, there is not a possibility for lot consolidation. Compliance with the minimum development densities and other standards in this section is not feasible due to the small lot size configuration of the parcel or other environmental constraints such as the fault hazard. The property is within the Alquist Priolo Special Study Seismic Zone per the Alquist Priolo Earthquake Fault Section 2621.6. B, a single-family wood frame or steel frame dwelling not exceeding 2 stories when that dwelling is not part of a development of 4 or more dwellings. Therefore, this submittal of 3 units would not be classified as a project under the Alquist Priolo Act. There is evidence that an attempt to trench near the site could also be problematic and not feasibly possible considering there are buildings on the neighboring lots close by.
The proposed project would implement goals and policies in the 2005 City of Hollister General Plan, including Land Use 8.3, which requires that new development in multifamily neighborhoods support rather than detract from existing residential character of the area. The proposed project is a multifamily development in an infill site of the city adjacent to existing urban uses. Land Use 3.5 requires the provision of usable open space in multifamily residential developments. The proposed project would include private open space for each unit and a common open barbecue/picnic area. With this, staff recommends that the Planning Commission review the applicant's request, receive all written and oral testimony regarding the proposal, and consider approving conditional use permit number 2014-5, which would be for a waiver of the minimum density from 4 units to 3 units. And then following that, conditional use permit 2014-6 for a planned unit development for condominiums. And lastly, site and architectural application number 2014-14, subject to the findings and conditions contained in the draft resolutions. Are there any questions for staff?
I have just a comment on the site plan. And it's minor, I think it can be worked out, just a little compliance issue with the access aisle. It needs to be 8 feet, he's got 7. But he's got 9-foot stalls, so he can go down to 8'6" on some compacts, get his 8-foot access aisle, has to be van accessible. Just, it can be worked out, I have to make those comments when I see a compliance issue. But I don't have any other comments other than that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Then I have one on the site plan as well. It's the trash enclosure. It seems to be right in the middle of the landscape area as opposed to somewhere near the parking stalls where your trash pickup would normally go. I'm assuming that they're talking about the small 64-gallon rollaways and rolling those things out to the curb, or is it normally you see those near the asphalt areas and it's pushed back into the landscape area.
Sure. We can have the applicant put a pathway for I think they're proposing the cans because there's only gonna be 3 units and that would be better used for than having the actual truck go in and pick up the dumpsters. So I believe it's the cans, so we can have the pathway for them to bring them to Pine Drive for access.
Any other questions for staff?
I have none.
Okay. No further questions. I will open the public hearing now at 3:36. Any speaker cards?
Chairman, I have none.
Is the applicant in the
Yeah.
audience?
Yes, he's present.
Care to address the commission? No. I will close the public hearing. 3:37. Comments? We have two, looking at the conditional use permit to waive the minimum density and one for the planned unit development.
And for the site architectural as well. There's three.
There's three.
Excuse me, and the site and architectural for the actual project.
If I can ask the commission to adopt each one individually,
Yeah.
that would be helpful.
So will Chair entertain a motion?
Yes. Yes, I will.
So I move that we approve conditional use permit 2014-5 to allow the reduced development density for this conditional use permit.
And that's PC Resolution 2014-39.
Correct.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The conditional use permit 2014-39, is approved.
I also move that we adopt PC Resolution 2014-40, approving the conditional use permit for the planned development.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Would you like me to continue?
Yes.
I make a motion that we adopt PC Resolution 2014-40, approving site and architectural review 2014-14 as presented in the staff report with the findings and conditions.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The site and architectural approval has been, motion carries.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Go get them.
And thank you for your improvement to the area.
Okay, we go on to item number 3, tentative map 2014-4. Filed by Robert Infelice, requesting approval of a tentative map for 100 single-family residential units and a 100-foot wide open space buffer park area along the west property line on a property consisting of 22.38 acres in the proposed R1 LPZ low-density residential zoning district and OS open space zoning district located north of Apricot Lane, being more specifically described as APN 20-06-11, CEQA mitigated negative declaration.
Thank you.
Jill?
The applicant is requesting approval of a tentative map to subdivide one parcel consisting of approximately 21.16 acres of land into 100 lots for single-family residential homes in the R1 LPZ low-density residential performance overlay zoning district, an area of approximately 2.12 acres for open space along the west property line in the OS open space zoning district in the city of Hollister. The minimum lot size would be 5,670 square feet, and the average lot size would be 5,941 square feet. Larger residential lots on the site are located along Summer Drive, facing the open space area. The gross density proposed is 4.7 dwelling units per acre, so it's the 100 units on 21.16 acres, and the net density is proposed at 7.3 dwelling units. Access to the site will be provided by way of new roadway connection to Summer Drive, Robert Drive, Steinbeck Drive, and Apricot Lane. The site layout allows for continuous traffic circulation. Summer Drive would extend from its south terminus towards Apricot Lane. Robert Drive would extend from its south terminus to Apricot Lane and align with Monica Drive. Steinbeck Drive would extend from its west terminus to the future extension of Summer Drive. in Apricot Lane would extend west towards Summer Drive and be improved with curb, gutter, and sidewalk along the north side. The Parks and Open Space Plan illustrate an open space area which would overlook the Samuel River Basin, percolation ponds, and hills beyond. A 1.4 acre pocket park along the west frontage of the development will be improved with landscaping, informal turf area, play equipment, picnic tables, and benches. A lineal pathway which parallels a bioswale will extend the park south and provide pedestrian connections to Apricot Lane to the south. Parking is proposed at the south end to serve the open space area in the future River Trail Park. No parking is proposed along the west side of Summer Drive. Summer Drive would be located to the east of the open space area. The lots along the east of Summer Drive would face towards the open space.
A little bit of history regarding this project. On September 21st, 2009, the City Council of the City of Hollister authorized staff to initiate the pre-zoning of this property. It was, prior to that, it was part of the unincorporated area of San Benito County. On April 24th, 2014, the City of Hollister Planning Commission recommended that the City Council approve an ordinance adopting the pre-zoning of the site and recommending approval of the mitigated negative declaration that was prepared. And the City Council approved this on May 19, 2014, earlier this year. On June 2nd, 2014, the City Council adopted Ordinance 1098, an ordinance pre-zoning the project site to low-density residential performance overlay zone and also to OS open space. And also adopted Resolution number 2014-109, which is a resolution of application requesting LAFCO of San Benito County to initiate proceedings for the annexation of territory. On September 25th, 2014, the City of Hollister Planning Commission approved a resolution awarding 25 growth management residential allocations for this project. A condition in the attached tentative map draft resolution requires that the applicant obtain 75 additional allocations for a total of 100 residential allocations for the project site prior to obtaining final map approval. On October 23rd, 2014, the Local Agency Formation Commission approved the annexation of the project site. One small home with associated landscaping as well as a garage and water well are present on the southern area of the site along Apricot Lane. As noted on the tentative map, the existing home is proposed to be removed. Pursuant to mitigation measure Cultural Resources 1 of the adopted mitigated negative deck, if and when the existing structures on the project site are proposed for demolition, the applicant shall retain a qualified historian to evaluate the historical significance of the structures. If the structures are not considered historically significant according to CEQA, no further evaluation would be necessary. If the structures are considered historically significant according to CEQA, then the structures shall be retained and designed into the development project. If it is not feasible to retain the structures, the city shall prepare an environmental impact report to include an evaluation of the structures and make the appropriate findings associated with demolition of the structures. The mitigation measures in the mitigative negative declaration are included in the draft resolution in this package.
The project site is consistent with Land Use Policy 8.4, Neighborhood Scale, because the project site will preserve and enhance the character of the existing residential neighborhood. The project is consistent with Open Space Policy OS 1.3, Site Planning to Preserve Open Space, because the development proposes an approximately 2.12 acre area of open space, which will help minimize paved areas and maximize landscaping, reducing outdoor air temperature around buildings in warm weather. The open space area will also serve as an open space buffer to the city's existing percolation ponds and would create visual harmonization with the future River Trail Park. So with this, staff recommends that the Planning Commission review the applicant's request, receive all written and oral testimony regarding the proposal, and consider approving tentative map 2014-4, subject to the findings and conditions contained in the draft resolution. Are there any questions for staff?
Still planning on having a Frisbee golf course there?
For this project, I don't believe they proposed it for this, not for this.
That was the other
That was the
tentative
other
map.
one? Oh,
Yeah, on San
okay,
Benito Street.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, this one is a tot lot, and then there's some
Okay.
picnic
Some
areas
trails.
and
I thought there was gonna be a Frisbee course.
a linear park trail.
All right. Any questions for staff? Okay, without any questions.
Have the
Chris does.
neighbors been noticed about this?
Commissioner Alvarez, yes, the neighbors have been noticed. 300, they've been noticed throughout in the pre-zoning and also in, for the tentative map as well, and within a 300-foot radius, and also when the mitigated neg deck was adopted prior to adoption as well. So they've been noticed throughout.
Okay.
Did you receive any comments as a result of the 300-foot public notice going out?
At this time, we have not received any comments.
Okay, so no
yes.
comment from the neighbors.
That is correct.
Any other questions for staff?
Why do you all of a sudden have a pocket park?
As,
I mean, I love it.
As compared
I'm
to-
doing flips right
Because
now.
they're hearing us,
as compared to in the past,
Bill?
because they heard us.
Because he's a very good developer.
There's also
He's
open,
responsive to the needs of the community.
That's right.
No, that's not Richard, that's us.
there's an the open space section too, so the site, yeah. Mhm.
Like I said, I'm just
that's a good point.
Me too.
you know. Thank you very much. I
That-
appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Commissioner Alvarez. This, as your commission, this commission also approved, when it pre-zoned, they recommended to the city council to pre-zone it as the west area for open space, which is basically where the park is located, and the eastern area for residential. So based on that, staff worked with the applicant to make sure that that was addressed, and so the proposal came before you tonight.
Appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? No further questions. I will open the public hearing now at 12 minutes to 4. Do we have any speaker cards?
No.
Does the applicant care to address the commission?
I'd like to. Good afternoon, I'm Richard Scagliotti, I'm representing Mr. Infelice. We did, this has been a 3-year project we've been working on, and with the comments of the commission and with the open space buffer, it made sense to put the park in there. It makes it better for everyone, makes it better for the development, for the homeowners, the other people that live in that area. On behalf of Mr. Infelice, I'd like to thank you. He's, not in good health, but he's wanted to see this go for a long time, since I think 2007 when he started with Creek Bridge, and then that fell apart. And so it's been a long haul for him. But again, thank you for your consideration of this and all the time. And from myself and my experience, I want to thank all of you for giving up your time from your families, from your work and everything that you do. I know what you go through, I know what you listen to, and I know you take it to your heart, and some of the gut-wrenching decisions you have to make, especially when you know people or people in the community. It's a very hard job you do, and let me tell you, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate what you guys do, and especially staff, including the guy with no hair. Not you, Brad, the other guy.
Someone with less hair than...
And again, if there's any questions, I'm here I'm happily here to answer any questions you have on behalf of Mr. Infelice or myself. But again, I'd like to thank you and wish you all a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, same to you.
You're welcome, Richard. Okay, any other one in the audience care to speak on this issue? Speak on item? No further speakers. I will close the public hearing now at 10 minutes to 4. Bring it to the commission for comments, discussion.
I have no other questions.
Looks pretty good.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve tentative map 2014-4, PC resolution 2014-42, as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Happy holidays. Okay. New business.
None.
Abraham, Bill, any new business? Department reports?
Yes, if you've noticed for all the commissioners, we've included the schedule for 2015 for the planning commission meetings, but if you've misplaced it anyway, let us know, and we'll get you a new copy.
And it's online as well, correct?
Yes, so we're changing our website right now, but I've already submitted it to be posted, so.
Okay,
Mhm.
great.
And, thank you, Jill.
And if I can say something too, Richard stole all my thunder. Thank you very much again for this year. Staff, I think, would like to thank you for your time and your efforts. Thank you today for coming in a little bit earlier than a normal planning commission evening. As you know, we have a little get-together this evening, and we all wanted to be able to be there and not necessarily hold this meeting. Again, thank you to L&G for their participation in the meetings. Paul and Brad have been a big help, and Jill and Abraham. I have, this last year, with me taking a new position, I've neglected them tremendously, and they've been able to hold up. Having 42 resolutions this year is something that hasn't been done in quite some time. So we are starting to see some activity out there, and that's just a true representation of that moving forward. So again, hopefully everybody has a happy holiday, good new year, and we'll see you in January.
Thank you, Bill.
I just want to say thank you to staff. I have a lot of confidence in you, and I worked with you for several years. I just want to say that it's been a pleasure being up here the last year with these fine gentlemen. And like I said, I'm very appreciative of staff and everything you do. And I know that you are understaffed there with Billy doing both jobs. So well done. Thank you.
You guys do a great job.
Yes,
Thank you, appreciate it.
You work hard.
absolutely.
I really appreciate how you guys, really try to see things through the eyes of the applicant and try to find ways to make things, all you guys try to find ways to make things work. And I think it goes a long way to improving the image of, of the community. So you guys, I appreciate the efforts you guys put in. I know y'all work your tails off. You have a hard job.
And I appreciate the courtesy too, especially with the public. You guys just do a wonderful job and are really great ambassadors of planning to the general public. So thank you so much for that.
Appreciate it.
Also want to formally congratulate our the man of the year,
Oh, gosh.
Dr. Hugh Boyd. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
That did not surprise me.
Oh, boy.
You're very worthy, so
Well,
congratulations.
Oh, it surprised me. Now I better start living up to it. Huh? Okay, well, thank you so much. Any other planning commission reports?
No.
Okay, well, I'll just say, if you're watching this on your CMAP TV, and have a happy new year, have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in the year 2015. And next meeting is, when is our next meeting?
Up on the wall. Over there.
Oh, there it is. Thank you, Carol. January 22nd. We'll see you January
Gotta make a
22nd.
motion. I move that we adjourn.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 We are adjourned until January 22nd. Thank you.